Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. This is the 100th episode of the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast, and I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know whether to take a moment and just thank the shit out of you for being here. I don't know whether to give myself a pat on the back. How did you come up with 100 things to talk about, Christy, when you were really nervous about topics? How I didn't even know if I could come up with 10. And here I am on 100. I don't know. It's crazy. It's amazing. I had some really cool ideas for this episode. I remember getting to number 90 and thinking, oh my gosh, 10 more until episode 100. What am I going to do? I need to make it super cool. And I had some ideas and I even tried some different things. And anyway, what it came down to is I just don't have the time to do something super creative. So that's just the reality of the situation. I don't have a large team, and not that that's an excuse, but I don't have a large team to delegate things out to and really to help me yet. I don't even know if I ever even really want that. But anyway, I just haven't had time, and old me would have kind of stressed out about it and maybe even stressed myself out to the point where I tried to do something super cool, and at the expense of that, I would have had to sacrifice time with my kids or whatever, different things, and that I'm just not willing to do. So to be honest, I'm super freaking pumped about the topic of this episode. I'm super freaking pumped that this is the 100th episode. It is a big deal, but also there's going to be plenty more, and I can make any one of them as special as I want. This is my show, and I am just as excited for this episode. So honestly, I do want to thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you so much. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you sharing the podcast. I appreciate you tagging me and finding me on Instagram and talking to me and trusting me with your journey. And I think what I love most is the messages that I get that say things in reference to, hey, Christy, I found your podcast. I relate to what you're saying so much, and you have made my struggles feel normal. Or you have really made this journey a lot easier for me, and I give myself more grace now, and things like that. So I appreciate that this is a space that I realize I have created, that I can be super authentic, and I can share my struggles and share stupid things that I did in the past and own them, and also know that a lot of you can relate. And I love that so much. And I'm really excited for what's to come. There are some really exciting things coming to the podcast. I am going to rebrand it soon. I am working on a logo. So I'm really excited about what is happening. And I do appreciate every single one of you. Like I said, the more you can share the podcast episodes on your social media, the more people you tell about it, the more lives we change, and the more of you I get to meet. And I just could not be more thankful. Okay, so let's dive into the topic. So I honestly, this might be something I do in future episodes. We'll see. But I listen to a lot of episodes that are an hour long, and I love hour-long episodes. I actually started this out with about 15 to 20-minute episodes, and then I started to kind of ramble a little bit and talk more about myself and my life instead of just the topic. And so let me know wherever you talk to me, usually Instagram DMs, sometimes I get emails, whatever. Let me know. Do you want to know a little bit more about me in each episode, kind of what I've been up to? Do you like the real talk about myself? Do you like when I bring my life into it? Or are you stick to the topic? We like it short and sweet, 20, 30 minutes. Let me know what you're liking, because I definitely want to make these short and digestible. But I know when I listen to podcasts, I like to get to know the person that I'm listening to. I think that connection is really nice, and I thrive off of connection and communication. if you haven't noticed. So anyway, this is the part where I'm like, do I talk a little bit about my week, what I'm going through, what's been going on, or do I just dive into the episode? I've already thanked you enough and spent some time on that. So I am going to dive into the topic right now, and I'm super excited. So what I want to talk about, and I haven't titled the episode yet, so this may or may not be true, but I think I'm going to title this episode, "This Shit Is Not Optional." That's what I want to talk about. This shit is not optional. I had a pretty cool, it was just a normal conversation with a friend yesterday. And these, like I say, it's a normal conversation for me because I talk a lot about health and fitness and all of the things that go along with that, in my opinion. And I really get fired up talking about certain things. And if we're talking about how a doctor has kind of mistreated someone, or a dietitian has led someone down the wrong path, or people just don't know better, or actually, that reminds me, I had 2 actual conversations yesterday that kind of got me in this mood, right? But honestly, it could be the smallest little thing that I'll read someone post or something, and I'm like, what? That can just get me fired up. But at the end of the day, what I want to talk about today is, and this, I want this to kind of be stuck in your brain, so who knows how many times I'm going to say it, and I am going to get fired up probably in this episode. This shit is not optional. I need to make this very, very clear for you. Fitness is about so much more than weight loss and looking good. I know that it's so easy to want to lose weight and to want to lose fat and to want to tone up and to want to build muscle and to want to look good and to want to fit in the jeans and all the physical attributes. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I love that shit too. I love to talk about workouts and macros just as much as the next personal trainer. You know that because I have had a lot of episodes about workouts and about macros. But at the end of the day, this is about our health, our bodies, and our life. So sometimes I can hear people talking, or I will get questions, and please continue to ask me all the questions. But sometimes I get a question that is so unimportant that it makes me stop and think, like, how are you missing the bigger picture here? How are you focused on this very, very minuscule part of your journey? And it can be like, I'm trying to even think of an example. I don't know. Like, hey, Christy, does it matter if I do my workout in the morning or in the evening? Or does it matter if I have 20 grams of protein right before my workout or right after? Like, those to me are things that do not freaking matter. Because at the end of the day, when this is all about our health and our bodies and our life, when I made that mental switch, and when my clients make that mental switch of this no longer being like, Christy, I just want to lose 10 pounds. Oh my God, this fat's driving me crazy. I hate the way I look in the mirror. I have to lose 10 pounds. I have to be smaller. Like, this obsession with the weight loss, with the physical, with that, when you can take the stress and the focus off of that physical, like, I have to lose this weight. I hate the way I look. I can't stand to look at myself. I get it. I've been there. But when that's your focus, that freaking sucks. When you take the focus off of that and you put it on building muscle, being strong, being healthy, and you realize that this shit is not optional, right? This is how, for me, this kind of the conversation yesterday, we went a lot of different angles in this conversation, as friends usually do, right? We are all over the place. But for me, when I think about being motivated, the topic of motivation came up, and I said to my friend, she was talking about not being motivated and just things like that. And of course, she does the workouts anyways. She's my girl. She does it. But I'm like, I wish people knew that I have not been motivated to work out in years. If I'm being honest, it's been probably 2, maybe 3 years that I have had any sort of motivation to work out. I'm talking about, I don't want to go to my garage and work out. When I'm in the middle of my workout, I don't want to be working out. When I'm done, I'm not even like, oh, thank God I did that. I have been so depressed and so anxious and so at the very depths of the deepness, right? Like, I, in the last few years, have been really, really in a bad place. Coming out of that now. But, when you're in there, you're kind of like, you're really low, and then you kind of get out of it for a while, and then you're really low again. I don't know. If you've never been depressed, it's not really something you can explain. But it's like this cycle of you're just stuck in the deepest, darkest place and you feel like you can't ever get out of. That's kind of to describe where I've been in and out of the last few years. When I say that I have not been motivated to work out, to track my macros, to do really anything at all, especially for myself, especially as far as health goes, I'm not exaggerating. I have not had motivation. I have not felt motivated. Not one time in the last few years. And I have done this shit anyway. And I know it looks like I'm motivated. And I know on social media you see a certain thing. And I'm not trying to portray something that I'm not. It just is what it is. I post my workouts. I post my got a workout in today, lifted heavy today, right? I can't write a novel on all of my stories. That's why social media is fake, because you probably look at my page and you have no idea what I've been through the last few years. But I have showed up anyway. And at the end of the day, the reason I show up for myself every single day in one form or another is because, to me, in my head, this shit is not optional. That's it, period. When I really think about this stuff, like eating enough to fuel your body, doing workouts that allow your body to function well in life, being okay mentally, sleeping well, this is not optional. When people say, let me back up. We all go through phases in life. Sometimes I have been at the top of my game and I'm able to go all in. We can crush it. A lot of you are like that too. You have been in places where you're all good and you're all in and everything's aligning and life is good and you can eat well and you can work out and you're feeling great. Sometimes I've been in a place where I just talked about, I have to give myself a lot more grace for even waking up in the morning and getting out of bed. And I'm sure you've been there too. Sometimes we're all in. Sometimes we can hardly get out of bed. And that's fine. Those are phases in life, right? But at the end of the day, this isn't optional. When I don't want to go for a walk because, let's be honest, I just don't want to. I'm like, I don't want to go for a walk today. When I don't want to get my workout in because it's annoying and I just don't want to. When I don't want to track my food because it takes 5 whole freaking minutes and I'm making excuses and I just don't want to. There's more excuses, right? I don't want to go for a walk because it's cold. I don't want to go for a walk because it's raining. I don't want to work out because I'm tired. I don't have time. Whatever we all say. It's all excuses, period. When you break those things down, it's cold, it's raining. I could still go for a walk. And when I make it like, Christy, it's not optional. This is for your health. This is for your body. This is for your life. This is for your kids. This is for longevity. You have to do this. Like, you have to go for a walk. When I'm in that model of thinking, it becomes so easy to get things done. And I can tell I'm coming out of my funk because I'm thinking things like this now. I'm like, this isn't optional, Christy. Or if I do make it optional, like yesterday, I didn't feel good. I don't know exactly what autoimmune things I have. I'm probably going to dive into this in a upcoming episode because I keep getting asked about my autoimmune issues. That's what I call them. Because doctors act like you're crazy when you go in for autoimmune issues and they're like, basically nothing's wrong with you. I don't know what to tell you. And they send you on your way. But what I'm trying to say is my autoimmune issues were flaring up yesterday. My back was I was in so much pain that even stretching hurt so badly. And once I was done stretching, well, in the morning, I talked myself out of a workout. I'm too sore. I don't want to. I'm too tired, blah, blah, blah. In the evening, I was like, this is not an option. You're going out to the garage and you're going to at least stretch. And usually when I'm done stretching, I feel better and I feel ready to work out. This time I did not. So I did some body weight moves. I did a little bit more stretching and I felt better, but there's no way I could pick up a weight. I knew that would put me right into like a flare up. So that's all I did. And I went back inside and I actually felt really good about it. I ended up having an appetite after that. I had 2 salmon tacos. It was so freaking good. And I felt really good about myself and my pain was less. Thank God that it was not optional for me, because a lot of times if you're dealing with something like an autoimmune flare-up or you're just kind of sick or you're just tired, you've had a long day, whatever, we talk ourselves out of it. And that's a really bad thing to do, because when you have some kind of a sickness, especially something autoimmune where it's actually beneficial for you to move your body more, even though it hurts and it sucks to move your body more. After you do it, you feel better. And I just remember thinking after that, like, thank God I don't think of this as an option. You have to change your thinking. When it comes to fat loss and muscle gain, the most important things are sustainability and adherence. So when you're thinking about your fitness journey, a lot of people will say, I can't do this for this long, right? You start a program. When you think about your own personal fitness journey, a lot of you, and I've been in this place too, start a program where you're all in and you're cutting out certain foods and you're eating things that you're following a meal plan with foods on it that you don't even like. You're meal prepping so much that that's not going to be sustainable. Like you can't do that, right? You're like, I can probably do this for my 6-week program that I'm doing, but there's no way I could do this long term. So a lot of you are, like I said, meal prepping, you're eating off of a food list or a meal plan. If you're doing my programs, you're not doing any of this because I don't teach you to do this, but this is what it usually looks like. And you're going to the store, you're, buying things, you're prepping, you're making your foods, you're tracking, you're cutting foods out. Can't have this anymore. Can't have mini Cadbury eggs. We're back on those. I freaking love those things. If you know, you know. And you're doing these workouts and you're like, I'm not going to miss a day. I'm doing my mobility and I'm doing my stretching and I'm doing my workouts and I'm doing my walking and I'm doing my jogging and I'm doing my lifting and I'm doing my meal prep and I'm, you're starting all this shit all at once. And then probably a few days into it, honestly, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this. This isn't for me. I'm broken. This will never work for me. Oh my God, whatever. And you quit. And that's what I just said. The most important things when it comes to fat loss and muscle gain, which are the two things that will get you the body that you want and the body that you need because it's the healthiest, are sustainability and adherence. Can you sustain a lifestyle that you aren't enjoying or that you don't want to do? Like you just really don't want to freaking meal prep, then don't. If you really don't want to, cut out all these foods, then don't. Is that something you can adhere to long term? If it's not sustainable and you can't adhere to it long term, lifelong, right? That's not going to work for you. The only way you can achieve fat loss and muscle gain, hear me please, is if it's sustainable and if you can adhere to it. If what you are doing to achieve those things is sustainable and you can adhere to it, you're good. That's why it works for me, because what I'm doing is sustainable for me and I can adhere to it long term. And it's been sustainable for me for almost 15 years. I have been trying to figure this out for 15 years. I have mastered it, right? I have adhered to some sort of a program. I have had very little time off of that in 15 years since my son was born, since I started all of this. And I have pivoted so many times where I'm like, okay, this is no longer sustainable for me to run. For example, I used to run. And then I'm like, I had kids. They were home. I couldn't go for a run. I had to work out from home. Started Beachbody workouts. After I didn't want to do Beachbody workouts anymore because no thank you. I decided I had to do something else. I went to bodybuilding.com, fell in love with working out on my own without a video. And then I realized I, couldn't do that anymore. So I had to make it again my own. So I have pivoted these things. I've taken the basics and plugged them into my life to make it sustainable and so that I could adhere to it. So I am constantly losing fat if I need to, gaining muscle even when I need to, or I'm maintaining, period. That's it. So if it's sustainable and you can adhere to it, you will be winning, okay? If you are doing those things, then it's not an option. It no longer becomes an option. And also it's not really that hard. Like when I say this shit isn't really that hard for me, I don't want to work out. I don't want to go for a walk. I don't want to track my food. It's redundant. I'm over it. I'm not in the mood. I'm anxious, depressed. I'm down in the depths, whatever the reason is. But it's not optional. I also don't want to get out of bed and go to work. I also don't want to get my kids off to school. I also don't want to brush my teeth. That's annoying. I don't want to make food for myself. I'd rather go out and have to eat and have somebody else make my food for me. There is a lot of shit in my day that I don't want to do. And I do it anyway because it's not optional. So if you can change your thinking to being, okay, this isn't optional. And I actually had a client message me, and it wasn't in this, she didn't say this shit is not optional, but what she was saying was, I keep kind of making it an option. I keep saying oh, I'll work out tomorrow. I don't have to work out today. I can take a rest day. I don't have to do X, Y, and Z. And she's like, I finally realized I can tell myself I have to do this stuff. It's not an option. I don't have to tell myself I can do it later, or I can have a rest day. It's not. Like, it's not optional to be healthy and to give a shit about your body. This fires me up. And I don't always know how to put it so eloquently when people are like, how are you motivated? How do you show up? You know, you must have it so easy. This must come so easy for you. And all the things that I hear, because I guess I make it look that way, when inside I'm thinking to myself, no, you don't understand. I show up regardless. I was talking to my friend about this yesterday when I was going through the really bad times of my figuring out my autoimmune stuff and just all the pain. And I was so sick and would go to the doctor, just doubled over in pain, thinking I was dying. And they're like, I think you have heartburn. I mean, it was just insane. When I would run out of the medication that they gave me, and I remember having to call my dad once and have him go to the pharmacy and get my medication because I could not physically get off the couch. I was so sick. And I did, of course, have rest days, and I did take days off from working out. I'm not saying that at all. But never once did I think to myself, oh, wow, I will never be able to work out again. I remember thinking, I have to figure out what kind of workouts I can do in the state that I'm in to be able to still move my body. It was never an option to quit or to not work out or to say, you know, I have X, Y, and Z disease, and I know there are some diseases where you can't, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, for me, I don't even know what I really had. I have IBS. So my back hurts all the time and my stomach hurts. So I don't know what to eat and I don't know how to work out because I'm always sick. That was never the case for me. I used IBS because that's literally what they told me that I had, which I was like, that's such a bullshit diagnosis, because what does that mean? Where did it come from? How can I fix it? You know, like, thank you so much, but that doesn't help me at all. And why do I feel like I'm dying? Like, anyway, but a lot of people are just like, I'm getting older and my back hurts and I have shoulder pain and I had a shoulder surgery, or I had a knee replacement. And I have a lot of clients who have had all of these things and they still are like, can you tweak my programming so I can work out? I can't do squats anymore. Can you take all the squats out of my programming so that I can continue to work out in a way that really, really works for me, because I want to continue to move my body? That's why I freaking love my community of women, right? But there are a lot of people that I just hear when I'm out and about, when I'm getting my nails done, when I'm getting my hair done or whatever. I hear conversations and people are like, well, I just don't like salad, so I can't eat healthy. I can't do that diet because I don't like Greek yogurt, or I just don't like to lift weights, so I can't go to the gym. Like, I don't want to look manly, so I'm not going to go to the gym and lift weights. That's all bullshit. That is so ridiculous to me. I just wish that I could turn around and say, you sound so ridiculous. That is an absolute myth. Like, I lift weights. Do I look like a man to you? I'm sorry. I take that offensively. I don't like that. I don't like this. When it becomes, and I'm not saying you have to lift weights like me, or you have to do, certain things. There are a lot of other ways to work out, but I will get into that in a second, where, you can do yoga, you can do Pilates. People feel like that's building quote unquote lean muscle, even though there's not really such a thing as lean muscle. You just have less fat on your body and you're not building muscle as quickly, but whatever. Anyway, what I'm saying is, to be healthy and fit should not be an option. And it shouldn't just be about what can I do to lose fat the fastest. Where I want you to change your mindset is, I want you to start thinking about building muscle, because muscle is longevity. Muscle is the most important thing you can do for your body. The more amount of muscle you have on your body, simultaneously, the less fat you have on your body. Like, the two can coexist, of course, but chances are, if you focus on muscle gain, you're going to naturally also focus on fat loss, and your body will do that so naturally. So I want you to start changing your mindset from cardio to muscle gain, from fat loss to muscle gain, from weight loss to muscle gain. Shift your mindset. Like, don't say, I need to lose so much weight. Say, I need to start lifting weights so I can be strong and so my body can be strong. Because this is the thing. Remember, there are certain facts that we cannot get around. I know some people love cardio. I hear it all the time. I love to run and I love to bike and I love Pilates and same. I used to love to run and love to do all that stuff too. And it's not that I hate it, but here's the thing. You need muscle on your body. There are so many benefits mentally and physically that I found when I started putting muscle on my body. And that's just a fact that your body freaking needs muscle. As we age, so many diseases. Actually, I did a quick Google search. Let me read I literally typed in benefits of having muscle, and here are the benefits that just popped up on my first search. Improve blood sugar, increased muscle mass, stronger bones, weight control, boosts your mood, higher metabolism, it improves your joint health, prevents injuries, strength training protects bone health, better posture, improves brain health, improves heart health, improves sport performance, muscle helps manage blood sugar, muscular strength, promotes bone health, and slows the signs of aging. Slows the aging process. My goodness, I can't speak. I feel like some of those were redundant. But anyway, that was literally a quick Google search. I don't believe everything I read on the internet, but that's true. Those are probably just some of the benefits of having muscle on your body. As we were moving stuff from our main living area, our main floor down to our downstairs, we had to clean out our entire living room, our entire kitchen, all of the pots and pans, all of the heavy things in the kitchen, everything, you guys, tables, chairs, couches, entertainment centers, all the things. When I would bend down to pick up these tubs that were full of glasses and plates and pots and pans, they were very heavy. And yes, my husband did most of it, but there were a few tubs that I bent down to pick up, and I bent down with the best deadlift form. Let me just brag for a minute. I was telling my friend this yesterday too. I remember bending down to try to see if I could even lift it because it was so heavy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Muscle memory, right? I bent down into the best deadlift form, grabbed that tub, picked it up, braced myself, tightened my core, right? Tensed up all my muscles, got my balance, took the tubs down the stairs, and then muscle memory brought me back down into perfect deadlift form, and I set that tub down. And I remember thinking, a lot of people would get injured right now. You know, I don't want to be someone who hurts their back just bending over. Like, oh my gosh, how'd you throw your back out? Just bending over. I know that happens a lot, and I'm not making fun of anyone that's ever happened to. I just personally want to reiterate the importance of having muscle on your body, learning good form when you're working out. These are facts that we cannot get around. So if you love cardio and you love Pilates and you love yoga, those are great. We do need flexibility. We do need that movement. We do need mind-muscle connection. We need a strong core. You also need to be strong, period. Not because it just looks good and not because you have more muscle on your body, so your body burns more calories, so you're burning more fat naturally. There's a lot of benefits to having muscle on your body. And you need to freaking do it. It's not optional. For me, I have been so inconsistent with my workouts lately for different reasons that I can see my arm shrinking. I'm like, I have no arm definition right now. And in my head, I'm like, that's the goal right now, Christy, is to eat enough to fuel your body, period, no excuses, and to build muscle. I'm not going to be out in the garage anymore, dinking around. I'm going to pick up some heavy weights when I can, minus yesterday when my back was hurting so badly and my autoimmune was flared up. The goal is to build muscle, period. That's not optional. In my head, I think I even said it out loud the other day. Christy, the goal right now is to build muscle, period. This is not an option. That's what you'll be doing. Okay. We're not dinking around out there. We're not doing measly little weights and high reps. We are lifting heavy. It will hurt. You have to build muscle back because I can feel like my chest is weaker. My shoulders are weaker. Those are not fun things to hurt, right? You don't want to have torn biceps and tennis elbow and shoulder surgery and, your back pain all the time. I just don't want to have that. And I know that what I'm doing right now isn't really getting me to where I want to be. So in my head, this is where this came from the other day. I'm like, you have to build muscle. You have to hit your protein goal. This is not optional. This shit is not optional. So the next time you don't want to work out, the next time you want to quit your program, the next time you think it's taking too long, I'm just not enjoying this, I want to quit, blah, 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 whatever it is, hear me in your head saying, this shit is not optional. I am the type of person who hits my protein goal. I am the type of person who works out. I have to build muscle. I do want to look sexy, but I also want to be able to help out when I need to move shit around my house. I want to help out when I'm needed. I want to be strong and healthy. I don't want to always be, fighting some sickness off. I don't want to always be feeling weak. I want to be strong because you need muscle on your body. So this was a little pep talk. I loved it. Happy 100 episode. This is kind of where I'm going from here on out. I am seeing things on social media that's just these posts and these diets and these workouts. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. All these people are feeding you so many lies. And I just have got to be more demanding with your attention and saying, this is not how we're going to handle this. If you are sick, if you got only 5 hours of sleep and you don't function well on that, right? Don't work out. Otherwise, it's not optional. Christy says, this is not optional. This is for your health. This is for your body. This is for your life. This is not optional. That's how you find motivation. That's how you feel motivated. Or if you don't, you do it anyway. That's how you get yourself psyched up. I'm going to the gym today because it's a gym day. It's not optional. I'm hitting my water goal. It's not optional. Today when I'm like, I don't want to go for a walk, I'll be saying to myself, this shit is not optional. I might even post that and you'll know why once you hear this episode. Okay. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.